Welcome back to the TV5 Morning News on this Monday morning. Time for our Arts and Crafts segment with Tracy Marshall. Typically, we're a little closer together.
Yeah,
we've got a couple of chairs in between us here today.
I bought some chairs at a yard sale that were so grungy. They were so bad that most people would just throw them away. I mean, when you see a mess like that on a seat, you just say, got to get rid of it.
Right.
And this is probably the nastiest set of chairs I ever bought. But I saw potential. I could see through all this grunge, and you can wash your hands afterwards. So,
always.
First thing you do is remove the seat cushion. And usually that's just held on by 4 screws underneath. And also go find some good upholstery fabric or duck cloth, something that's thicker than normal cotton. You can use cotton, but it's going to wear down faster.
Yeah. Right.
And then after you've removed the seat cushion, and don't forget to remember where you set the screws for that. I've done that before.
Those.
If you get interrupted, put them in a good handy place. And then I use a Rust-Oleum spray.
Just a regular spray paint?
Regular spray paint.
For metal or whatever you have?
For metal or wood, and I do that also for a lot of the wood chairs that I refinish because it goes on nice and thick and it's sandable and it's meant to be waterproof and weatherproof.
Okay.
So I use that, but the key, the biggest mistake that most people make is they stay in one place when they're spraying. So you want to keep your hand moving all the time. Don't do it when it looks like rain. Make sure you do that outside.
Yep.
And then after that's dry, or even while that's drying, take your cushion and lay that down on a piece of your fabric.
Do you take the top cover off?
Oh, in this case I did. A lot of cases I don't. So that's why you see just the foam here.
Right. Okay.
Because that was so grungy, I didn't want to put anything over it. But normally it's just you know, when you buy yard sale
just
chairs,
changing the look.
You just don't like the fabric, right?
Right.
And you might not like this fabric, so that you can go with any fabric you want. And you start by cutting that out about this much bigger than the
You want to give yourself some room to play with.
Keep checking it before you cut, because once you've cut it too small, that stinks. You got to start over again and waste the fabric.
You can always go too big?
Oh, definitely go too big, yeah.
Okay.
Because ideally you'd like enough to be able to fold that over a little bit, and then you pull, make sure you're always pulling so that you're getting it nice and tight, and just a staple gun. And put 3 staples, folding and pulling and staple. If the staples don't go in the whole way, have a little hammer handy so you can hammer those in the whole way. If they're sticking out, it might keep it from going back onto the chair well.
Okay.
And then when you get to the corners, that's where most people freak out.
Right. How do I fold this? How do I make that? I can't fold a Christmas present.
Just staple that close to the corner, pull that up tight, pull that whole corner piece tight, and then I always, before I put a staple in there, flip it over and make sure that's making a nice corner.
Yep.
And then once you've done that, put a staple in there, take your scissors. Sometimes I trim this off, sometimes I leave it. If I'm selling the chair, then I'll turn it in, trim it off, make it nice and neat. I don't care what it looks like underneath, but my customer might. And then then you just put that back on and reinsert the screws exactly where they came out of. It's so simple, and it's such a shame that people will throw a nice chair like this away. Exactly, and you can get chairs like this a dime a dozen at yard sales because they really are on the verge of throwing them away.
And everything, as long as you're structurally fine, everything should be all set. Exactly.
Always check by putting the chair down straight on a floor and trying to rock it in all directions to make sure that you do have a nice structurally sound chair. Although I've taken weak chairs that have a beautiful look and made them for decoration purposes only. So every chair can have a new lease on life.
Anything coming up at Between Friends?
This Friday night we have the Focus Group, which is adult improv comedy. So that's a lot of fun.
Everybody says how great it is.
Yeah, it's got a big following. So check that out on Friday night.
And if they want to stop by, you're in Brewer, 39 Center Street.
That's right.
Do they call you? Should they
you can call 989-7100. Also, if you have any questions about this project or any of the other projects I've done in the past, feel free to come in. I've got my samples there, and I can give you one-on-one instructions.
Excellent. Thank you very much, Tracy.
Thanks, Wayne.